Once again, welcome to Christian Perspective with Alfreda Grace. So today is March 12th, 2025, and I have here a prime example that tells Christians, or even really anybody that consumes the news nowadays, that we have to be very cognizant of how we consume our news, and really not just to take anything just face value, and to be a little bit more intentional about how we are consuming our news. So I have here two articles, or two things that have been published, one by CNN and one by Fox News. So first, on the CNN website, CNN has posted a article entitled "Prices Are Rising. See how much the cost of basic grocery items has changed." And on the Fox News Facebook page, they have a slideshow. The first image on the slideshow states consumer prices drop 2 months into Trump's presidency. And behind these words, you have an image of President Trump with his fists up, essentially stating that he is responsible for the drop in prices during his presidency. Much can be said about whether it's actually attributed to him or actually a remnant or byproduct of the Biden presidency, but that's not the focus today. The focus is on the fact that you have two different perspectives posted about the very same thing on the very same day. And when you scroll through the slideshow that Fox News has presented, the interesting thing here is that their data to back up their claims is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And likewise, you have graphs, several or a few of them, on the CNN articles that they cite the same source, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So this makes it even more suspicious. How could CNN be reporting that prices are increasing and Fox News be reporting that consumer prices are experiencing a drop? Both of these articles or this information from both news agencies are reporting that their data is citing up until February 2025. So I dug a little deeper. I went and looked at the contents of the article that CNN has posted. And the interesting fact is the content states that the cost of some products could remain volatile, but the overall trend shows prices have largely stabilized. For example, government economists also track inflation for foods Americans eat at home to better understand price trends across all products at the grocery store. And I quote, "That measure, a subset of the broader consumer price index, shows that food inflation overall has come down significantly since the COVID-19 peak, with more recent rates closer to historical norms." And I quote, they state that overall, food inflation has come down significantly since the COVID-19 peak. So one has to wonder how this information is in the article, but then the title of the article says that prices are increasing. That presents a problem here. When we look at the data, CNN's data gives you an opportunity to select different specific grocery items and essentially kind of gauge whether the prices are increasing based on the item. And the first one that they have highlighted, of course, is eggs. Everyone knows the price of eggs is increasing. Fox News states right below the graph that they posted from the same source that inflation on all consumer goods is down 2.8% from 2024. So they're not really going as far back as 2020, but the graph does. While their statement doesn't, their graph actually does go back farther than 2020, even into 2016. So I think the issue here is that we have to be very cognizant of how we're consuming our news, because while much can be said that, there are nuances in this information presented by both agencies, the average American is not really listening or consuming their news in that way. They're not looking to sift through data. They're generally relying on the presenter to tell them the summary. And many times we all know that we may just read the title of the article or the title of the post, wherever we may see it. And that is where some of this may come off a bit disingenuous to the consumers of the news by these agencies. So this brings to mind The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17, that the first person to state his case seems right until another comes and cross-examines him. And I think this is exactly what we really ought to be doing as Christians, is really cross-examining these agencies and the information that they're presenting. Especially in the way things are going on right now, I think we have to be very careful to actually make sure that we are consuming our news from opposing sides. We should go to the news agencies that seem left-leaning, to actually listen to them, and go to the news agencies that seem that they're far right, or whatever we may call them, and consume news from all different directions, because one may always seem right until you juxtapose it to the information that another organization, another agency is presenting. And it is very important right now, especially if you don't have time to sift through the data. It's at least important to know that someone thinks differently, so that you can be slow to speak, be slow to really express any emotion in whatever it is that you're reading, knowing that there is another side out there. That would be very helpful to us in this time. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please feel free to comment on this post wherever you're listening to this, or even you can head over to my Facebook page at Christian Perspective with AG. I really look forward to hearing your views on this. So I'll see you there. Thanks.